Let's start with these problems based on principal values. Okay, now see the first one, cosecant inverse of 2. Now, guys, understand. Let's look at the angle part and then you can do it. Recall, cosecant 30 was 2. That means cosecant inverse of 2 becomes 30 degree. But degree is not the unit. We have to keep in terms of radian. Okay, so the answer for the first one, this is going to become pi by 6. The first case, very simple. Second one, tan inverse of negative root 3. Now, tan of root 3 is going to be, tan of 60 degrees is going to be root 3. So, tan of minus 60, that is going to become minus root 3. So, tan inverse of minus root 3 becomes minus pi by 3. Next, cos inverse of negative half. Okay, now this is a little interesting compared to the previous two. See, when you have cos inverse of negative half, guys, if you look into the graph, whatever I'm going to draw now, see, when you write the cos inverse graph, okay, the cos inverse graph, or if you write, suppose if I'm going to write the cos x graph basically goes like this, correct? This is 0, this is pi by 2, this is going to become pi. This is the graph of cos of x. Now, if you look at this one, the positive 1 to negative 1, whatever you have, this is between 0 to pi. That means negative value for cos comes in the second quadrant, correct? Whereas for tan, it comes in the fourth quadrant, correct? Now, what we are looking at? We are looking at cos inverse of negative half, this one. So, you know, negative half, we have to do it in the second quadrant. So, since we are doing this in the second quadrant, we write it as pi minus cos inverse of half. Why the pi minus comes? Because pi minus comes in the second quadrant. So, pi minus cos inverse of half, this is going to become pi minus. Again, now recall, for what value of theta you have cos theta is half, it is going to be 60 degree. Correct? Cos 60, or in terms of radian, if you have to tell, it is going to be pi by 3. So pi minus pi by 3, which is equal to 2 pi by 3. Did you all understand? So cos inverse of negative half becomes 2 pi by 3. Tan inverse of minus 1, guys, this is very simple, minus pi by 4. Secant inverse of 2 by root 3. When you have secant inverse, again, go back, recall. For what value of theta, you have secant theta to be 2 by root 3. It is going to be 30 degree, correct? Secant 30 is 2 by root 3. That means secant inverse of 2 by root 3, this is going to become pi by 6. Fair enough? And the last one, cosecant inverse of minus root 2. First is negative, minus, and root 2. So for what value? It's for 45, right? So minus pi by 4. Okay, now here I want to tell you two important points or two important parameters also. You can consider this. Okay, now this is related to two inverse trigonometric functions, with one is cos inverse x, another is cot inverse x. Okay, so that this particular parameter or this particular rule, what it states is about the negative values in the inverse trigonometric function. What you have is, if you have cos inverse of minus x, this is going to become pi minus cos inverse of x. Understood? And same thing goes for cot inverse. If you have cot inverse of minus x, you're going to have pi minus cot inverse of x. The reason why these two comes as pi minus, because of the graph. Okay, because of the graph. In the sense, you guys saw the graph in the last video, how the cos inverse and cot inverse graph are. Because of the graph, the negative part of the inverse trigonometric function comes in the second quadrant. So pi minus that particular value, that's going to give you the angle. Clear? So let's solve a couple of more problems now. See the question. Find the values of the following. Under that first one, tan inverse of 1, cos inverse of minus half. Guys, cos inverse of minus half, pay attention. Sine inverse of minus half, pay attention. So first is tan inverse of 1. First is tan inverse of 1, which is going to be, so for A, it's going to be pi by 4, correct? 45 degree plus cos inverse of minus half, pi minus pi by 3 plus sine inverse of minus half minus pi by 6. So pi by 4 plus, if you take LCM, you will get 2 pi by 3 minus pi by 6. Okay. Now for 4, 3 and 6, you guys have to take LCM. 12 will be the LCM. You will get 3 pi plus 8 pi minus 2 pi. This is going to become 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 pi by 12 or 3 pi by 4. This is going to be the answer for the first part, which is option A, as in question A. Let's do the same thing for the next one. So next is B. Cos inverse of half. Cos inverse of half is how much? Pi by 3. Pi by 3 plus 2 into sine inverse of half, which is pi divided by 6. Correct? 2 and this is 3 times. Pi by 3 plus pi by 3. Answer becomes 2 pi by 3. Did you all understand? So basically, whenever we try to solve problems like these, apply the principal value. Okay, now principal value for all of them. See, this one also principal value we did. This one also principal value we did. Every value you calculate has to be applied with the help of principal value. Understood? And remember, for cos inverse of negative angle as a negative value and cot inverse of negative value, you have to do pi minus that particular value. Clear with this? So these are a couple of problems. Okay. And in the next couple of videos, you guys are going to understand different rules, different formulas involved in inverse trigonometric function.